And the news at 11 on this Friday begins with breaking news. Turmoil and trepidation in Virginia. The people who call the Commonwealth home are losing trust in their top three leaders. And one of them faced another bombshell today. A second woman with a second serious allegation. She says she was raped by Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax nearly 2 decades ago. Calls for his resignation and even impeachment are growing by the hour. Even his own party wants him to step down, but Fairfax says he won't leave office. Good evening. I'm Leslie Foster. The News at 11 team is all over every angle of this. The new accusations against the lieutenant governor, new signs the governor isn't going anywhere, and new concerns about what this could mean to Virginia financially. Mike Valerio has been leading the way on this story since it broke. He's at the center of the storm tonight, live in Richmond with more new reporting. Mike?
Well, Leslie, good evening. You know, the lieutenant governor faces a critical choice over the weekend here, either resign or fight and face potential impeachment charges. This as he could have been seen as Virginia's next governor only a few days ago, and more chaos is gripping the Capitol tonight. Tonight, it's a fight for his political life after an allegation of rape added to an earlier accusation of sexual assault against Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. The statement from Friday's accuser sent the crisis to a fever pitch. The victim saying the alleged rape happened at Duke University in the year 2000, an attack she described as premeditated and aggressive. The development simply too much to bear for Arlington delegate Patrick Hope.
As the father of 3 young girls, I cannot stand by silently while the lieutenant governor is facing multiple credible allegations of sexual assault.
Hope announced on Twitter, quote, "On Monday, I will be introducing articles of impeachment for Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax if he has not resigned before then." Fairfax, at least for now, is fighting, saying, quote, "It is obvious that a vicious and coordinated smear campaign is being orchestrated against me." We spoke with Delegate Hope on the road between Washington and Richmond.
It's like getting punched in the gut. I mean, it really is, because you have a lot of faith in your leaders, and it really is painful.
Impeachment for anyone holding one of Virginia's highest offices would be a first. But for Fairfax backers who say the accused are innocent until proven guilty, Delegate Hope's response was clear.
That's the standard in a criminal proceeding. That is not the standard for an elected official. For an elected official, I don't expect two totally different women to come forward with different situations, making these accusations against anyone.
Okay, so 11 p.m. on a Friday night. Where do we stand right now? Well, the lieutenant governor's colleagues in the House and Senate on the Democratic side of the aisle have all called for him to step down. Not one of them wants him to stay here in office here in Richmond. And Leslie, make no mistake, we've had so many allegations of racism, sexual misconduct gripping the Capitol here in Richmond. This by far is the most serious of all of these allegations because this could potentially involve criminal conduct. Leslie?
Mike, let's talk about how this started. The other 2 men swept up in scandal this week. Governor Ralph Northam, Attorney General Mark Herring. What are you hearing about them?
Yep. Well, Leslie, frankly, we think that they are going to survive all of this because, as we said, this is the far more serious scandal that Richmond is dealing with here. With the Attorney General, Mark Herring, it seems as though he's going to stay on because so many here thought that his apology was frank, sincere. He has no track record of any kind of racism. This happened when he was 19 years old, that blackface incident that he admitted to when he was at UVA. And there's also the reality of the political calculation here, Leslie. If the AG Mark Herring goes, Republicans would be the one to choose his successor. The governor, the Democrats in charge, wouldn't choose who the next Attorney General for the Commonwealth of Virginia would be because of a quirk in the state constitution. So Democrats don't want a Republican AG. He's likely to stay. As for the governor who started all of this with his yearbook photo from VMI, he's likely to stay and is likely to begin an apology tour of sorts beginning as early as next week. Leslie?
Hard to believe that all of this happened in just 7 days. All right, Mike, thank you. Earlier this evening, Governor Northam broke his social media silence. His first tweet since the scandal broke, a retweet thanking John Boyd Jr. for his work on behalf of black farmers. Boyd is the president of the National Black Farmers Association. Reporters caught up with him after his meeting with the governor.
The photograph, it's a bad photo. It's a bad photo. People, it speaks for itself. But what I'm trying to tell you today is people change. I don't know how it got there or whatever, but the governor told me today it's not him in those pictures, and I believe him. We prayed about it. We asked for forgiveness. And here again, I believe in the power of redemption, and I hope that others will forgive him too and try to move on and make Virginia better.
So it looks like Governor Northam is staying. But what about the third man wrapped up in the Commonwealth's chaos? Virginia Attorney General Mark Herring. He stood to become governor if Northam and Fairfax resigned. Now he's fighting his own calls for resignation tonight. He admitted Wednesday he too wore blackface during a party in the 1980s. So right now the Commonwealth is getting national attention for all the wrong reasons. Will that keep people and companies out of Virginia? I asked John Henry to look into that part of the story.
If you're from Virginia, you may be a little embarrassed about the last week. A lot of people have been laughing at the Commonwealth. Virginia is for lovers? Well, not according to the New York Post. So just how could these scandals impact Virginia's future? Will tourists bypass the state? Well, Georgetown adjunct marketing professor Marlene Morris Towns knows one thing: Virginia's powerful brand, built in the back of its beaches, mountains, and historical sites, has definitely been damaged.
I would think that some people may wonder if they will really be welcome.
And she added another incident could still be in the back of their minds.
These recent incidents following that does now, I think, make for somewhat of a pattern or a track record.
But Charlottesville also gives us an opportunity to see how Virginia may weather its current national scandal. A tourism market research firm named Destination Analyst studied the public's perception of Charlottesville after its protest. It gathered opinions of the city when the protest happened and roughly 5 months after that date. As time went on, it found fewer people said the protest had affected their interest in visiting the city. Also, fewer people remembered the incident. Towns admits Americans can have a short attention span.
From social media and the news, things tend to come and go.
But that's tourism. We also wanted to see how these scandals could impact business development in Virginia. Well, to find that out, we reached out to site selection experts in California, South Carolina, and New Jersey. These are people who help companies decide which cities and states may be the best locations for them to set up new facilities. One told us, while embarrassing, other factors are far more critical to businesses, and Virginia rates highly when it comes to talent, logistics, and cost. And another expert added that those qualities have not changed.
Near-term issues and things like that don't always have the impact you might think they would when a decision really has long-term consequences.
Everyone also agreed these current crises would have to last a long time to make a noticeable impact. For now, Virginia just hopes it will be able to hold on to its brand. John Henry.
I think that you can restore people's faith in the state.
WUSA 9.
Okay, let's get real about this chaos at the state capitol. This is State Senator Louise Lucas expressing how a whole lot of people all over the Commonwealth have felt for a full week. Yes, Virginia, it's been a week since this scandal began. Last Friday, it looked like the governor was about to resign over a racist photo, and poised to take his spot, a young politician, a rising star in the Democratic Party. 7 days later, everything's changed. The governor's staying, and calls for the lieutenant governor to resign over allegations of sexual assault and rape are pouring in. But one thing hasn't changed. We live in a democracy. Virginia voters, if you want someone booted out of office, tell your state delegate and your state senator. Demand it. Far too often, we wave the flag of surrender and let apathy win. But when enough voters speak, our representatives listen. After all, that's their job. I want to know what you have to say about this. Find me on Facebook. I'm at Leslie Foster, WUSA. We're also tracking a wintry mix headed this way. The chief has seen the latest models for Monday morning. I'm almost afraid to ask Topper, what are you saying?
I would just set the alarm early Monday morning. I'd just go ahead and do it. We're not looking at a snowstorm per se, looking at a whole potpourri. Snow, freezing rain, which is the worst, sleet, and plain old-fashioned rain. So we have a yellow weather alert for Monday. Let's talk impacts right away. Power outage is low. If we get enough freezing rain, that could be in the moderate range. Wet roads high, slick roads high. School delays, we'll have to see. A little bit uncertain, but it will be something you'll have to develop. It will develop on Sunday night, so we'll have time to look at it and make decisions early on Monday morning. We're starting our news at 4 a.m. Monday. So this is 6:30 on Sunday night. Already some snow off to the west of us. This moves in overnight, and by midnight on Monday, overnight Sunday, we have snow to the north, rain to the south. By the time we get to 6 a.m., we have snow to the north and a mix right through the metro area. We'll come back. We'll talk about the prospect of freezing rain, how long that's going to last, and we're going to do this again on Tuesday. We'll explain.
All right, Tom, thank you. Jalen Willie was full of promise, a 16-year-old on the honor roll, a star swimmer, but in an instant, a classmate armed with a gun took it all away. The shooting happened back in March at Great Mills High School in Southern Maryland. Jalen's mother wanted to talk about her talk about her daughter, so she invited our Micaiah Turner back to Great Mills to remember Jalen.
How does it feel today when you walk through these halls?
It's sad to think that she was here and gone and very quickly.
Melissa Willie still finds the strength to walk these halls, but she has no choice. She has 2 kids who go here.
I mean, I'm not thrilled about sending them, but they're here, so.
Here at Great Mills High School, where she lost her daughter.
If Jalen were alive today, she would be 16. She would be a junior at Great Mills, and she probably would be picking something to do for her future. She wanted to do swimming with special needs children.
Amazing. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty cool.
Many of us remember the morning when shots rang out at Great Mills High. But what we didn't see was the terror in homes across St. Mary's County.
There's a school shooting. Please.
Where?
Here at Great Mills High School.
At any point, did you fear that Jalen was a victim?
Absolutely. I knew that she was one.
You felt it?
I mean, as soon as I didn't get a hold of her, I knew there was something wrong.
That morning, a 17-year-old gunman opened fire using his father's Glock semi-automatic handgun. He shot Jalen in the head in the hallway as she was getting ready for class. The same bullet hit another student before the gunman took his own life. When you learned how Jalen's life was taken, what went through your mind?
Well, why the heck her? Like, why her? Why her? Just why? You trust that they're going to go to school and come home, and then they don't, and that's not good.
Jalen's family said goodbye to her 2 days later when she was taken off life support. What were those 2 days like for you? Your family?
Pretty much a living hell. There's a lot of people, a lot of decisions. Just a lot.
Jalen's life wasn't taken by a stranger. She knew her attacker. They were classmates turned friends who dated. But Melissa makes it clear they were never in a relationship.
Jalen went out with this boy 5 times.
Oh, 5.
It was not a long-term relationship. It was just a few times going out.
Did you sense anything about his character, or was it just?
Yes. Just told her he was off.
How could you tell?
I don't know, mom intuition.
Were you surprised that he hurt your daughter?
I was disgusted. Right after Parkland happened, I can remember standing in my kitchen on the phone with my brother and said, I cannot imagine what those parents feel like.
Jalen was known throughout her community as a happy, easygoing girl with a bright future. She loved school and spending time with family and friends. She was the second oldest of 9 and shared a passion with her siblings for swimming.
The littlest one, he even still, he looks at pictures of her and says JJ, and because that's what he called her.
When Jalen passed, people in the community wore these green and gold ribbons. They were made by one of the moms in the area.
Yeah, the colors are the high school colors, and then the swimmer, it's a girl swimmer.
That's Jalen. There's also this special silver necklace with Jalen's picture on it. Melissa doesn't go a day without it. Another mom gave it to her the night Jalen would have been at prom.
They had it specially made. It's a picture of Jalen.
You wear it around your neck every day?
Every day.
Do you ever look down at it?
I can't see it. Oh, well, yeah, I can't see it. My kids kiss it all the time. They kiss her goodnight, and they kiss her throughout the day. And
describe what this time has been like for your family.
A nightmare? I mean, it's just been a really long year. Happy kid some day, sad kid one day, happy kid an hour. You know, it just varies. It depends on who's doing what.
How do you cope?
I do what I have to do for the kids.
What's a memory you have of Jalen that you just hold on to really tight?
She was just I don't even know. There's so many of them. Her laugh, her smile. Don't make me cry. A good girl. Very sweet, very happy. Just a good girl.
Jalen would have been 17 years old on February 24th. Later this month, a swim meet is planned to raise money for a scholarship in her name. A memorial will be installed at the school this year. Leslie, back to you.
A beautiful story about a beautiful girl. Jalen also loved to bake, and at her memorial service, everyone who attended got a recipe card for Jalen's best ever chocolate chip cookies. Dogs, code names, and free bananas. That's all part of the work culture at Amazon in Seattle. This year, the most valuable company in the world will bring 25,000 jobs to its new HQ2 in Northern Virginia. So what's a day in the life like of an Amazon worker? The company doesn't usually let cameras in, but they said yes to our Eric Black, so we flew him to Seattle for this exclusive look.
It is one of the most influential and intriguing companies in the world, Amazon. With the countdown on to the opening of its new HQ2 in Northern Virginia, we traveled 3,000 miles across the country to get an exclusive look inside the company's first headquarters in Seattle. What will the future hold for the tech giant's Arlington workforce? We asked Allison Flicker.
I really like working at Amazon.
Now, you would expect Flicker to say that. She's part of Amazon's corporate communications team, which basically means she's a company spokesperson and huge Amazon cheerleader. She even brought along a second member of the PR staff for our interview to make sure she didn't forget anything.
I love the team that I work on. I would consider a lot of the people I work with friends.
Still, we wanted Flicker's take on what a typical day at Amazon is like. She told us Amazon's 40,000 Seattle-based employees are spread out in more than 40 different office buildings around downtown, each tower with a special name. The one Amazon showed us is called Doppler, which was the internal code name of the Amazon Echo voice-controlled speaker before it was introduced to the public. Inside Doppler, we found the hustle and bustle of a small city. Marketplaces, coffee shops, and cafeterias spread throughout the Amazon campus. The food and drink, not comped for employees, but hey, the free banana stand outside is. By the way, members of the public can grab one of those bananas too.
Thank you very much.
And although Amazon employees we spoke with off camera told us the hours are long, Amazon isn't big at making you spend all that time at your desk. We saw all these communal areas where people just sit with their laptops typing away, and if you need a little break, well, there are more than a few four-legged distractions.
There's about 6,000 dogs who are registered to work at Amazon right now.
You heard that right, 6,000 dogs registered by their Amazon humans to come to work with them. All of them up to date on their shots, none of them paid anything more than a scratch on their head, a pat on the belly, or maybe a mid-shift walk at one of 2 dog parks here. This one on the 17th floor for employees only, another at street level, open to the public as well. And that's not all Amazon shares with its Seattle neighbors, who are also invited into these futuristic glass domes known as the Spheres, a living greenhouse of sorts covered in thousands of plants from all over the world, designed as another alternative workspace for Amazon employees.
This might seem a little random, but the idea behind this is that there's a lot of science that shows when you are surrounded by plants and green and nature, your brain works a little bit more creatively.
Which begs the question, is this what we should expect to see when Amazon's campus lands in Arlington's newly named National Landing? Not necessarily.
We're not a one-size-fits-all company. We really want to pay attention to what's going on in Northern Virginia, pay attention to the community there.
So what if you want to work at a place like this? Well, we decided to ask a different Amazon employee that question. Hey, Alexa, how do you get a job at Amazon?
Amazon is always looking for smart people. Check out job listings at www.amazon.jobs.
Of course she would know that, right? The company tells us the first round of HQ2 positions will be posted on the Amazon jobs page in the coming months. We've got a link to that and a deep dive into some reporting about Amazon's arrival, all on our website. All right,
I'm surprised she said www. That's so like yesterday.
Yeah, well, she's Alexis.
Yeah,
she wants to make it clear.
Yeah, okay.
And you want to make it clear to us that we've got some weather coming on Monday.
We do. I mean, I think it's going to be slippery Monday, I really do. And it's not a pure snow. That's the problem. We have sleet in the forecast. We have freezing rain. We talked about, we'll see every precipitation type before Tuesday is over with. Now, the next 5 days, well, we have colder air coming in over the weekend. This is going to set the stage for the wintry mix. So temps are going to hold in the 30s for a while. Upper 30s tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We go back in the 40s on Wednesday just because we clear and have a little more sunshine. So let's get a little granular. Again, this is not in stone, but this is one model. This is a European model. I kind of like this part of it. 9 o'clock on Sunday night, it has some snow in the metro area and a mix as far south as La Plata. I think that is going to be a good bet. I think it erodes the cold air too soon. This is Monday morning, and it has a mix I-70 north. I think there's going to be a mix D.C. north and west until about noon on Monday. By Monday at noon, it has rain everywhere except along the border, but then it also brings back colder air. So Monday night, the blue is the snow, Frederick, Martinsburg, the little pink here, that's the mix, and then the rain is south. I think this is going to be a little further south, maybe almost to the Beltway. And we get in 11 o'clock on Monday night. Now we have snow almost to Gaithersburg and almost to Leesburg with a mix now in northern Fauquier County. It's going to be a real tough call as to how quickly this cold air moves out. And I've said it before, I think the models are eroding the cold air too soon. They usually do. European model has a couple of inches north and west of town and a big snow for the mountains. The American model says no, very little in the immediate metro area and only a couple inches west of town. And again, not going to settle on any kind of a solution here until probably tomorrow night, maybe even Sunday morning. Much colder this weekend, temps in the 30s. However, wind chills in the 20s tomorrow. A mix is possible. Yes, that includes freezing rain. That's the worst case scenario. That's the stuff that falls liquid and freezes and collects on power lines and limbs. Both commutes on Monday will be affected with snow, mix, and a rain. Wind chills tomorrow morning. Check this out. 8 degrees in Hagerstown. Feels like 17 in D.C. I'll just sleep through that cold wind chill. I'll get up a little later. Even by 1 o'clock, though, it's only 22 in D.C. Feels like it's 16 in Hagerstown. So dress for the 20s tomorrow. So the next 3 days, Saturday 38, 39 on Sunday. Again, an evening mix is possible on Sunday. Certainly overnight Sunday, we'll see some snow and a mix for the morning commute. Only 38 for a high on Monday. And then Tuesday, we do it all over again. We have more. Snow mix goes to rain, and then chilly on Wednesday. Very nice Valentine's Day. Sunshine and 54. More heavy rain on Friday. We're back in the low 50s, and we'll be back after this.
More than 30 million people in the U.S. are living with diabetes, and insulin is not cheap. One of you asked the Verify team if Walmart is really selling the life-saving hormone for a fraction of the cost. Here's Adam Longo.
Verify fact checks the questionable claims you see spreading online. So a viewer sent us a Facebook post that has over 135,000 shares. It says you can purchase over-the-counter insulin for $25 a vial, $75 for a month's supply from Walmart. And the post warns that going through insurance can cost $400 a month. So a Walmart spokesperson confirmed, yeah, they do sell 3 different kinds of insulin. Rely on Novolin for $24.88 that you can get from a pharmacist without a prescription or insurance. And the rising cost of insulin is no joke. According to the American Diabetes Association, an uninsured person with diabetes could pay up to $480 every time they go in. Now, this thing that Walmart is selling is human insulin, which means it takes longer to metabolize than insulin analog. They're different in how long the hormone takes to kick in and how long it lasts. Now, the FDA says it's very important that diabetics never stop taking or switching medications without first talking about it with a health professional. Insulin can have different strengths and reactions with the body. So we can verify, yeah, you can purchase cheaper insulin from Walmart without a prescription. Want to find out more? Go to WUSA9.com/verify. Anytime you need a dose of the truth, we're always ready to give you a shot in the arm. If you want something verified, reach out to us. We're on Facebook and Twitter. You can also email the team, verify@WUSA9.com.
All right.
A couple things I want to emphasize. Cold tomorrow, dress for the 20s. That's one thing. The other thing is we're looking at more sleet and freezing rain than snow. So this is not going to be a snow event. That's why we're kind of concerned about the roads Monday morning and also Tuesday morning. Temps in the 30s. We bust out Wednesday. And look at Valentine's Day. 54 and sunshine.
All right, we'll take it. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here on Monday.